There's two basic ways to approach choreography. One is inventing, and one is discovering or uncovering. One says that I'm gonna make something out of nothing, that I'm gonna invent something, I have a vision, and then I'm gonna make a whole process to make that vision visible and alive. And another approach looks at things with a kind of acceptance that they're already there. Everything is there, and in a way you're uncovering logics, and you're uncovering mechanisms, and you're uncovering a choreography. I think one of the most interesting things to see is how an extremely simple task or definition of the environment can generate unbelievably complex situations and structures. A very simple example of what I mean when I say define an environment is simple choices of people and distances. So I just ask the dancer, for example, each one just choose one dancer and choose a distance you want to be from him, from 20 centimeters all the way to 10 meters. And it's so simple, but then when you have 10 dancers, each doing this, choosing his person, choosing a certain distance you want to be from him, then that generates a huge amount of movement, because everybody is, of course, moving, and then you're following somebody, but he's following somebody, which is following somebody, and then that creates a structure which is so interdependent in the way they are all linked to each other. Once you go in the studio with this state of mind, it really resembles a kind of game, in the sense that you know the rules, you know the constraints, you know what you can do and what you cannot do, but you have no idea how it will develop. And then that's what creates the game atmosphere, because it's so surprising, and sometimes it's funny, and sometimes it's stressful, and sometimes it's dramatic. It's like kind of man-made reality, but the human aspect is for real. They come as themselves, they're not abstract, for sure. I never understood what is abstract dance. It's people. How abstract can it get? I don't work with themes in the sense that they are not in the starting point. I don't have a theme and then I'm gonna make a work about this theme. The idea is that if you are able to generate a process which has kind of strong inner logic, it will reflect on so many other things, even though they are not written in the program. Okay, we are talking about society and the way it functions, we are talking about politics issue, and we are talking about economics, and we are talking about civilization and the way it develops, but we are. The piece is a kind of laboratory product, but this kind of thing holds within it a lot of reflections about those questions. I think it's understanding that I don't go from the outside in, I'm going from the inside out. I'm not going to do a piece about the war in the Middle East now, but I will go inside the choreographic process, and this process, hopefully, if done right, it will hold kind of fundamental observations about conflicts. Yeah? And in a way, if you want, and if the conflict in the Middle East is part of your life, then you would find relations to that, but it's coming from the mechanism, from the choreography mechanism, and then it reflects onto other stuff. I think my work has changed over the years, mainly in being more and more aware about the way my process functions, in the way of that I'm not inventing a choreography, that I'm not making a choreography, but I'm just creating an environment for it to happen. And this is a total shift of perspective. For me, it's the most efficient way of asking questions, understanding, sometimes getting answers, sometimes not, but being able to use that, look with this kind of mechanism into the world, into my life, into things, into what's happening around, into everything that interests me.